the actions, the results that you see today, those are the results that came from the actions that you did maybe a year ago. Right?
Actually, that reminds me. So one of the sayings that I always have in my head is think of your future self. And what I mean by that to myself is I always look at myself as not just one person. It sounds weird, but I look at myself as like previous me, really younger me, and then future me, near future me. And I always divide it up. And I always think like I have a relationship with these other versions of me. I sound like a nut job. But it's like, I literally sometimes think I thank my younger self for doing the things he did to allow me to have this. And then that reminds me, okay, so do that again. Do certain things that future you will be proud of. And that's how I frame my behavior. And another thing is, in the beginning, I was very uncertain and confused. And now when I started to see small wins and things starting to line up for me, it gave me such a fuel of confidence that I don't have that uncertainty anymore. Not arrogance, not ego, but more like I can do this, or self-assurance. And I think that came from evidence for me. What is the mindset of current you moving forward?
Just do the same things that I did. Just everything is replicable, right? If you did some actions. But I do believe there are stages in your life when it comes to finance, success, family, whatever, future. So I believe there are stages. Let's say from 18 to 25, which I'm turning in like a week. I knew that was a stage to build my foundation, to have something that's gonna maybe set me for life. So you can retire at 25, right? And then from there is just the next steps, like 25 to 30, which is kind of scary, right? And then I know that the actions that I do now are gonna be different than the ones that I did before, which means now that I have money coming in, I have a skill set. Now it's about investing, building stuff that's gonna help me live my 30 to 40 years basically and build a family and whatever. So I know I don't want to be trading the same way I do now in 10 years, right? So it's just different steps. Again, like you said, I see the future myself, and I know I reverse engineer and I know the actions that I need to do today. So now I can start taking more risk when it comes to business, other businesses, investments, because I know that's going to pay off in maybe 5 years.
What do you do? What do you do with your income that you made from trading and whatever the source is? What do you do with this liquidity that you have now?
I bought cars.
Fair enough. What do you have in your collection?
I have a McLaren and I have a EURUSD coming in, so it's gonna be two.
In Bucharest or in Dubai?
Bucharest, no, okay. Bucharest. So everyone asks me why I do that. It's just, when I remember I had this conversation with myself when I was 17. I still remember I was going home, and I thought myself like, I want to be a millionaire by 25 and maybe have a supercar, right? So that was my thoughts when I was 17. So I had to, I did it earlier, but just do it a bit extra just to...
Make sure you have two instead of one.
Yeah, just to be happy with myself, I guess. Okay. It's just a goal. I know people always say they want supercars, they want those watches. Once you have them and experience them, it's just like, it doesn't make sense, right? So I just... did that, gonna enjoy it for a few months, then throw that out of the way. I just wanted to do it now to get it out of my system, and then later on. Right now just bought some, properties, I guess, and not that much. I'm just gonna use the cash now to build some other businesses.
I noticed on your arm you have a tattoo that says Private Victories, so that's probably a nice reflection of the things people see on the surface, the car and this and that. Its deep roots are your private victories.
Yeah, exactly.
What is day-to-day life, and what are those private victories you like to stack?
Doing the same thing every day. So showing up to the charts, trying to become better than yesterday when it comes to trading, business-wise, now content-wise. I need to start pushing myself. So it's just, the private victories is everything that you do daily, all the downs, all the upsides. People obviously only see the upsides, but they don't see the drawdown periods, the losses, the frustration. They don't see that. So just reminds me that every day is a battle with myself, that I have to win. So when I go to bed, even if I was defeated in terms of, let's say I lost money that day, I still need to go to bed with a winning mentality, like get something good out of it. Right? I lost money, but I learned this, which I'm not gonna do again, right? So that's a victory for me. So every day I have to don't go undefeated.
I love it. Well, when it comes to this idea of becoming a trader and the journey of it. We spoke about psychology, how you should frame yourself, how you kind of went all in, and isolation, sacrifice. So that was how you set up your life. And then you also mentioned now the way you should carry yourself in terms of look for some stability, look for some income outside of trading first, and setting yourself up. So let's say we're in that position, or a new trader is taking this advice and they're like, okay, I'm working on my mindset, I'm working on my psychology outside of trading to have the paradigm shift, and you've got maybe $5,000 in savings and no debts, thankfully, and you still have a job that you're using to pay for your life. Let's say someone's at this point and they want to go with prop firms and be in a situation like you in the future. What would you be your advice to them on the journey to take for, let's say, a 1 year plan, the first year plan?
So first of all, let's take the example of unusual guy in that position. So they have $5,000. They see Forex, they see Instagram guys, they see prop firms, big numbers. They buy 2 accounts, right? They buy, I don't know, let's say 200-300K accounts, all the money. They have no education, they have nothing. I've seen that because, obviously, probably you've seen that in messages also, and then they just end up blowing and losing, and then they say Forex is a scam. So first thing is just set small goals. So if you don't have any education, you don't know how to trade, obviously that's the first step. Now there's free education. You don't have to buy courses. You don't have to just watch YouTube videos and then you just put the work into the charts and you're going to figure something out. But again, it's a matter of attention and consistency. Most people, they go through all these pairs, all these strategies, all these time frames, right? They don't stick to one. So just choose one pair, choose one time you want to trade in, and look for that pattern every single day, because it's going to repeat itself, right? Just focus on that. And once you have a system around that, it's going to be very easy. Then you can start going through experiencing the emotions of trading. So I would say, before you throw yourself in trading with money, maybe go for a small live account, maybe go for a small funded account, something that you know you're going to lose. Like instead of paying for going out that week, just use that money to, because the emotions that you're going to feel, and you need to allow yourself to feel those emotions, right? When you trade a demo, you don't feel anything. So throw $100 in, lose it, or maybe make some, withdraw some, go through those emotions, because those emotions are the same whether you lose $100 or whether you lose $10,000. Just the human body has the same emotional response, right? So once you go through that, then you kind of start getting used to it. You go through them more times, more and more used. It's like, you get used to it. You don't feel it anymore. So that's, I think, the best way to start after you have the education, everything. And then you have 5K, just use $2,000 to try, again, set small objectives, try to get your first funded account. So you're going to throw 2K and you need to get one fund account. So how are you going to do that, right? Instead of buying one account or 2 accounts, you only have 1 or 2 chances. Maybe buy multiple accounts. Maybe buy 10 accounts, right? From 10 accounts, even if you gamble them all like 50-50, you're going to pass one. It's impossible. You must be very unlucky not to. So you make your first goal to just get your first fund account. And then make your first goal to get the first payout. It doesn't have to be much. I will say,
is that for the refund specifically?
The refund, and also that feeling.
Okay.
Because I've seen people, they get the first funded account, they make some profits, and they text me like, oh, I made this profit, should I go for more? I'm like, just stop, right? You have that refund plus money coming in, use that to buy a new challenge, right? Just get that first payout, because that's going to make it real for you. And then from there, you can start investing more and more. But always go for more accounts, not just 1 chance or 2 chances, because trading is just a game of probabilities. Once you widen your chances, you're going to have more success.
Let's say now someone's a little bit more intermediate. They've got a good system. They've tested it. They've passed a few accounts. They've also lost a few accounts. I think that's where a lot of people are in their journey. And now they're like, I need to take this serious. I need to go for, let's say, $2 million. And they have a system and they have a level of profitability, and it's a game of probability and capital. What would you say is the best way to scale up? And let's say they have a bit of savings to do an optimal plan. What would you say is the best way to scale up in a sensible time frame, and like you kind of do, which is risk a little bit more in the challenges to not waste time and these kind of things? What is that approach?
All depends on the system and the amount of percentage you can do easily a month. That's what I'm saying. Because for me, it's 1 to 2%. Maybe for someone, they can do for 4%. I don't know. But let's say take the usual, I think it's like 1 to 2%, right? That anyone can do that. So just focus on trading your fund accounts maybe for one, if you have some fund accounts, focus on trading those for like 1 month or 2 months, have the payouts coming in. And then if you want to start scaling up, then use 80% of it and just buy accounts. And then don't start
And trade
trading
them
the
all at
fund
once or one by one?
I would go one by one at
Okay.
first. Just go one by one. Use a higher risk. Take more trades. And depends if you're intraday, scalping, swing trading. If you're swing trading, then maybe go for like 2-3 accounts at a time. So there's a lot of variability. Yeah.
When it comes to the people you know in the space, and you've met a bunch of traders, you've met someone like myself that is a very 1 minute time frame intra-session trader. You've also met the other end of the spectrum like Bernd, who is very successful in his own right, who is higher time frame and fundamentals and low risk reward, let's say, and he's stuck to that way and it works for him, and he's swing trading, and then I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. What is your views on this big debate that seems to be going around, where you have your views on the way you trade, but in general, the topic of scalping versus swing trading?
Well, I believe if you know to trade the 1 minute, you can also trade the daily time frame. So trading is just one big thing that time frames don't really matter, right? That's what I believe and that's what I do. I can trade any time frame. So I think it depends on the stage in the life you are in. So if you have a lot of time on your hands, if you're very passionate about trading, you can start scalping. And it's all a matter of exactly how risk reward is. It's also a matter of, psychology versus rewards. You know what I get?
Yes.
When I was trading the lower time frames, I was making a lot of let's say, per month. I was making a lot, but also my stress was through the roof. So
like a headache to reward
exactly.
ratio.
So when I was trading, let's say, I mentioned earlier funding talent, right? When I did some big payouts, I was trading every day. I was taking like 3-4 trades every day, and I was trading gold. So you can imagine how stressful that is. And I was, after a month or two, I made, let's say, 100K from payouts, but I was burnt out. So I couldn't trade for like the next 2-3 weeks. So it's very hard on me, and that's when I kind of start going away. So it's a matter, if you are very good with, so it doesn't affect you as much. I believe lower time frames are the best. If you can trade consistently, if emotions don't really affect you, just look at the pre-skill like a machine trading, you're going to make more money trading the lower times because you're going to have a bigger percentage return. Then it's like also the mid ones where it's intraday 1-to-1, 1-to-2, which I've seen a lot of people do now, successful ones like Kyle, and Paladin, they do that, where it's a good balance, right? You have a good winning streak, then maybe you have a losing streak, but you're there, right? You don't take 10 losses in a week. Maybe you take 1 or 2, right? So it's a good balance where it doesn't affect you as much. You can also have a good return and then build capital. And there's also the swing aspect of it, which I think it's the chapter in life for every trader after you go through those. So maybe when you get older, you want to have more time. Trading is just that skill that allows you to do everything. So for me, myself, I do know maybe 5 years I will just be taking 2 trades a month and be done with it. I don't want to trade every day.
One thing I like about you and your views is you're very confident, and you have your track record in terms of your work ethic for over the last few years and what you've achieved. You've achieved a lot in the space, and that gives you a level of credibility too, which is not something a lot of people bring to the table when they are in the online space specifically. They'll do anything but show proof. So that's one thing I like. I also like that you can defend your position, whatever views you have reasons for it. You don't just say things because they're popular or clickbait. You have your views and you defend them and you speak about it, which is amazing. And the last thing I really noticed is you value your freedom to speak. So you don't take affiliates, you don't take anything that is going to stop you from saying what you want to say. And you do say what you want to say. And that's a level of freedom I think you value. So when it comes to, with that in mind and knowing the online space, and you have been vocal about it, and how the spaces people conduct themselves with online gurus, fake traders, and all of these kind of things, what is your assessment of the space with most new traders coming into specifically Forex and seeing the online flashy stuff? What is your comments to those new traders on what to look out for?
So I've changed that because when I started making money in trading, obviously I wasn't really going on social media. But then when I started going into social media, I was like, there's not a lot of profitable traders, right? Most of them are just fake. And I still see guys like big followings, and they post screenshots on their stories with like, I made, I don't know, gold positions, buys from like 1,970, and prices now is like, 2.2K. So like screenshots from months ago, and they say, well, I made this profit today, join us. And I've realized there's not a lot of traders, and I think it's 99% of people just promoting these are scammers, marketing. It's a good industry to make money from, courses, signals, whatever, because people see it as, I want to make money fast. It's a good selling point. Laptop on the beach, phone, whatever, you can make money with no money. There's a lot of dreams to be sold in this industry. And I think that's why a lot of marketers and scammers came into the industry. And even now I see like myself, because you know how it is to trade and actually make money trading. There are struggles, right? You may be in a losing streak or whatever. And you get frustrated when you see other guys, they make maybe 2-3 times more money just selling courses, and you're like on your laptop all day trading, trying to make money. So it's a bit frustrating. And I just wish people will start thinking. But that's the thing, people don't think. They don't think, right? Because they get brainwashed.
They get lost in it. And this is something that happened to me just a few weeks ago. I hired a friend of mine to follow me around and do the vlogs I'm doing. So a cameraman.
Retracement,
he doesn't know too much about trading, or doesn't know
from 50% of the gap. My trading journey allowed me to backtest, journal every trade in automatic, and provided amazing stats about this strategy. Look at this 70% of win rate. Comment MTJ to get 2 weeks for free. Fair value. How to find high probability demand zones. Wait for a valid break of structure and mark the last bearish candle that caused the break of structure. Even better if there is some liquidity to take. Enter from our point of interest with stop loss slightly above the zone targeting this previous high. I've backtested this strategy on my trading journey. This is the best way to trade fake change of characters, and I will give you a software that provides to you statistics of your strategy. But first, hear me out. Wait for price to approach liquidity and break previous low. Once it reacts from a supply or demand zone, wait for confirmation to enter. My trading journey provides to me this crazy statistics. Comment MTJ to get 2 weeks for free. I've discovered the best way to trade fake change of character or smart money trap. Wait for price to grab internal liquidity forming the fake change of character. Look for confirmation to the upside targeting this previous high.
anything about trading. So in process of watching me every day, he started to ask questions and these kind of things, watching me trade the sessions. And then he started to look online and see other traders. So he pulls up his phone and he's like, I've been watching this guy's videos. And I had to break it to him. I was like, yeah, this guy is not a trader. He's nonsense. He's a marketer. And then his reaction, it blew me away. His reaction was like, but what do you mean? He's like, he's got so many followers. I was like, and?
Yeah,
and he's like, no, but if he's got followers, why would he, trick everyone? I was like, believe me, this is your first, first time in the industry.
You see, yeah.
But it's the idea of like, maybe when you're 7 years into the game, you see all the tricks and you see all these experiences. Yeah. But you and I both back in the day fell for that scam at some point. And the new people coming in, they're none the wiser. They will fall for it, and that is unfortunately the truth. What would be your message to these newcomers that are looking at your content, new into trading, watching podcasts, how to avoid a guru or how to avoid a scam?
Well, first of all, they're not going to watch this if you're just new. They're going to watch the day in the life or experience or whatever. One thing that I want to say before that is just, I've had actually friends from the past message me, seeing my success, and they're like, oh, I want to get into trading. Does he work? Is he going well for him? I was like, yeah. And then they send me a profile of a big guy, and I was like, how's his course? Should I go for it? I'm like, I have my own services. You ask me, right? I'm legit, right? Because you see me and you still ask me about this. So it's just sad to see that. It's just block and never message again. But yeah, newcomers, again, you have to wake up. It's very hard nowadays, isn't it? Because you have TikTok, you have Instagram. Attention span is so little. Nobody is gonna watch a 1 hour podcast if they're new into trading. They want to see the flashy stuff, the dopamine hits, right? But if you somehow manage to get over that, is just find some guys to follow. Either remove all social medias. That's what I did. Because when I started also, I was drawn by that, right? I've seen guys and I tried to do what they were doing and it wasn't working. And that's when I realized they're just fake, right? Stop following. Let me try to do my own thing. So either just remove social media, don't watch, which is very hard for most people to do, which is crazy, right? Because it's not that big of a decision. It's just delete an app on your phone, right? But it's so hard for them because like they're obsessed with it. It's crazy, like technology nowadays. Other than that, find mentors that have results that you can also have. So that's what I like. Prop firms, they're like third party. You have verified results. It's something that anyone can achieve. What I did, 6 million, 7 million funding, anyone can achieve. Maybe not in half a year or 1 year, maybe in 2-3 years, but it's something that people can achieve. You don't need a lot of money to start, right? Just build slowly, build slowly. While you see the guy trading on an offshore broker making 100K in a day, right? How can you do that when you have no money, right? It's next to impossible. So just find results that you can also replicate, steps that you can take, and focus on that.
Awesome. Well, bro, brilliant advices, brilliant storytelling, and also, I would encourage everyone to watch your content. You're a rising star in the space, and I'm sure you'll get to 100K in no time. But there's a lot of nuggets in your content, and rather than watching 20 other influencers that are just flashing, I think your content is one of the ones that people can really learn stuff from. So from my side, just encouragement, keep going, bro. I know you just started the social media stuff.
Yeah, I try to be real with everything.
Yeah, and I think voices like yours should be out more. So I think you're doing brilliant stuff. And yeah, thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, keep it up, man.
Thank you.
There we go.
We're One Tree Planted, and we do this.
Look, I could never be nobody number those things. For the last 2 years, you never skipped a training. You never wasted time. You never scrolled TikTok. You never sat aimlessly on the internet typing in garbage, never played video games. You never wasted time. You never skipped training. You were training every single day. You never slept in. You were never lazy. There's this version of you. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you. And the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things. And he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings, but I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. That's what I knew I had to be. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, if you can't force yourself to not log into Pornhub or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? The only people who get to live their lives based on how they feel are women and children. Children can cry because they feel like crying, as can a woman. A woman can start an argument because she feels like arguing, as can a child. A man must do what he is supposed to do irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline. If you do not have the discipline to dedicate yourself to anything, you are going to fail and be crushed by the people who can. If you only go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be as strong as the people who go to the gym when they don't feel like going to the gym. That is a reality of life. So, I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, you overtrain. And I explained to them, one, I don't believe in rest. I'm not you. I'm not pussy and I'm not broke like you are, Mr. Fitness Trainer, standing around the gym teaching people for $50 an hour. I don't need to listen to you. Secondly, I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it is more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential for success, and you need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away. quitters. They don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it. You can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive and end up at the destination. That is the majority of Earth. This is your competition. People who, even if they are told what to do and people tell them exactly how to do it and help them do it, still quit, still fail because they lack discipline. Even me, with my monumental powers, I can't make a quitter successful. It doesn't matter how good I am. It doesn't matter how easily I make it for them to succeed. It doesn't matter how compendious and concise and powerful the real world is. It doesn't matter how much I text them and motivate them, how many emergency meetings I do to try and talk to them and hype them up, how much motivation I give them. It doesn't matter what I do. If they are a quitter, guess what they're going to do? They're going to quit. No matter how simple the map is to read, no matter how fast the Ferrari is, somewhere along the drive, the sun's going to get in their eyes, and they're going to sit there and go, I don't like this, this is hard, and they're going to quit. Quitters are the number one type of people that nobody can help. If you're a quitter, I can't help you, life can't help you, God himself cannot help a quitter. So if you lack discipline, you lack the very basic building block to any type of success which exists on the planet. By every single metric which can be measured with science, you are going to stay a loser and a failure. The key is to keep training. If you train hard every single day, you don't have to worry about a little bit of vitamin C. It's true. If you don't train and you don't smoke, you're still going to be a pussy.
Yes.
The answer is always hard work. As soon as you are granted life, you are guaranteed death. What you do in between is up to you. You are all conscious. That could end tomorrow, that could end in 100 years. But the time between the beginning of your consciousness and the end of it is completely up to you. Training is never the wrong decision. If you're in jail, you should train. If you are free, you should train. If you are rich, you should train. If you are poor, you should train. If you smoke, you should train. If you don't smoke, you should train. If you drink, you should train. If you don't drink, you should train. You cannot escape that hard work is always the correct decision. There is no time in any scenario when working hard is going to be the wrong answer. You should always try your very best in all things. I will smoke 10 cigars a day and beat the shit out of you because I train harder than you can possibly fathom. Pain is an extremely important part of the equation. Pain is the elixir of success. When people say this bad thing happened to me and I'm suffering, I say good. It is pain which is required. It's one of the elements in the chemical reaction. If a chemical reaction requires 5 particular distinct compounds and you have 4 and you're missing 1, it simply doesn't work. Pain for a man is one of the most important elements in becoming successsul. Batman is Batman because they killed his parents. If they did not kill his parents, he would not be Batman. You're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to take that pain. The worst thing that can happen to you as a man is you live a life with no pain in it. To be born into a rich family and have a nice, easy life and be given money and you not have to go to the gym and not have to train because you have bodyguards and sit around like a fuck up. You're going to be miserable and unhappy and a drug addict buying prostitutes. You're only going to have women who adore you. You're only going to feel confident in yourself and feel happy when you've been through hell and come out the other side. The pain is required, and you'll often notice that people who are better than you are people who have suffered more than you have suffered. So the person who is waiting for you, he requires your motivation. It also requires huge amounts of pain. So when bad things happen to you, do not sit at home and lament. Do not feel sorry for yourself. Instead, look in the mirror and say, thank you, God, for giving me one of the ingredients that is needed for the chemical concoction that is going to turn me into a superhero. Because pain is an extremely important one. In fact, it's one of the most important ones for a man. Everything is war. All of it. Sitting in the commute without losing your patience is war. Trying to find a way to escape your slave job is war. Keeping your wife happy and your children inspired is war. Training to become stronger than before is war. It is all war, and it cannot be avoided. And I'll tell you why it's war, because war is 2 opposing sides trying to achieve the same goal. 2 opposing sides want the same land or the same influence over X land. And the car you want, the Ferrari, you're not the only person who wants it. The reason it's so expensive is because others people want it. The girl you want, the beautiful woman, Everyone wants her. It is war. It is competition. Everything about life as a man is war. It is conflict because you are competing against the other men who want it the same, which is why discipline is such an important thing, which is why you must take the pain and add it to the concoction to become as formidable as possible. Life is war. This idea that you can go through life as a man and avoid war is probably the biggest mistake that most men make, because it is impossible for you to achieve anything significant without war. Running a business is war. Running a hotel, running a restaurant, running an online company, it's war. Training is war. Life as a man is war. You need to wake up and view it exactly as what it is. Everything I want, other people want. Everything I desire, other men are trying to get. This is a war and I must outcompete them. That is the best possible mental model you can have. Even in jail, it was a war for who could stay most calm. A war who could control their mind the best. A war for who could suffer the least. That is war. I was surrounded by people who lost their minds and I refused. It was a battle and I was successful. Life in and of itself as a man is a never-ending struggle and a never-ending battle. It is the constant of the human condition. Evolution requires pain. While others complain that they do not feel happy enough, I'm happy I'm struggling. I don't want to be happy. I want to be great. This is the beauty of life as a man. You understand? I don't care. I'm happy to be struggling. I wanted to fight. You wanted to win. I wanted to fight. That's the difference. You're concerned with winning. I wanted to just fight. And we're fighting. That is the beauty of life as a man, to be great. If you concern yourself only with being happy, you are once again acting like a female or a child. Happiness is fleeting. It doesn't even matter if you're concerned only with the hedonism of happiness. You're going to drink alcohol and go to parties and go to festivals and take drugs. I want to be happy. Who cares? I want to be great. I want to be great all of the time. And let me ask you a question as a man at home, genuinely, truthfully. Would you rather be a loser who's always smiling, a happy loser, or would you rather be a stressed winner? Because I'll tell you something about winners. Most of them are stressed.
We are stressed.
We're stressed. Putin is stressed. Genghis Khan was stressed when his messenger turned up after a 4-week ride with updates from the battlefront of Iran. I'm sure he was stressed by what he read. Even if it was very good, even if it all looked fantastic, he started to feel stressed. Okay, well now maybe I need to go to Iran. How long is it going to take me to get there? Maybe we need to send more horses. Maybe we need to colonize Iran. He felt stress because the beauty of life as a man is to be great. So you have to sit here and ask yourself, do you want to be a happy loser that's insignificant? Nobody knows you exist. Women don't respect you. Men don't respect you. Nobody cares if you live or die, but you get to smile all the time. Or do you want to be one of the most important people on the planet with a little bit of stress? I am brilliant.